Esports Extra, the only live call-in sports show on Twitch, Facebook, YouTube. Only live call-in sports show talking traditional sports, esports, and gaming. We'll take your phone calls here live on a Wednesday, September the 16th, 2020 here. Larry Ridley here in the tri-state area, New Jersey, across the river from the Hudson and Manhattan. We got D-Dubs over there in Brooklyn. Where you at? D-Dubs, man, you smiling today. You feeling good?
Feel a little bit better.
Why are you feeling good today?
Today was a half day for my son in school.
Oh.
So Wednesday's always a good day.
Yeah.
A win.
Oh, that is a win. We put that one in the left-hand column. He's 1-0 on Wednesday, November the 16th in 2020. So you'll always be undefeated on this day going forward. You can never, ever lose on November or September the 16th, 2020 ever again. So we'll keep track of that, D-Dubs. Kelly, what's up with you? You smiling too. What's up with you?
You already know. You already know. You already know. I love to be like I'm on the unbeaten path alone. I felt a little out there.
Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, she's trolling us. She sent like a GIF with like, I don't know, 50 damn nuggets on it. So yeah, she made her point last night. We'll talk about it. We'll let you gloat today. I'll take the pounding. I'll eat my metaphorical crow over here. Hey Willie, what's up, baby? You in Texas, man?
Yeah, we are here.
Wow.
Trying to make sure that we continue to keep our little one motivated and
she's trolling us
and all that stuff.
Like a GIF with. You've been down the last couple of days, but I'm worried about you. You all right, man?
It's them Clippers.
I'm not down about the Clippers.
That's what it sounds like to me.
Nah, I'm not down about the Clippers.
No West Side today, huh?
No. Time out is always there.
Oh, okay. All right.
Let's get that understood.
But, I mean, his energy seemed kind of low. That's why.
As the kids like to say, your energy is sus, dude.
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm ready to get rolling.
All right, I'm just saying. All right, what's up, baby? OG,
what's up?
Flying with them Dayton Flyers, man. What's going on in Ohio, Snoopy?
It's funny you mentioned that because I just had an interview yesterday with my hometown newspaper, Dayton Daily News. So it's been pretty cool. I'm chilling. I actually like Durban. I get excited about Wednesdays because my son doesn't go to school. He doesn't have school on Wednesday most of the time. So. Pretty cool.
Good. Okay.
No,
you guys are.
I'm not being a virtual teacher.
Yeah. I love how you guys are like, yeah, I'm down and downtrodden because my one kid is at home. I got 3 at home and 1 in college, and y'all like, oh man, this virtual stuff. I don't want to hear from you.
But listen, yours can fend for themselves. Mine's
really?
6.
You think
mine is 4?
Mine at 6, and they at 4. Yeah,
they got their own phones and iPads and stuff.
You ain't got to learn no new math to teach somebody.
Well, actually, I'd rather go back to 3, 4, 5, and 6 when it's just addition, multiplication, and subtraction. They doing stuff that I'm like, dude, that was like 30. I don't know what this is. Like, yeah. So,
Khan Academy.
Good stuff here. Esports Extra will take your phone calls live here. 877-853-5247. Meeting ID Esport Extra. That is 377-678-9872. Hit the pound button twice to join the show. Larry Ridley, SMI TV, little NBC Sports, little Madden NFL, little NBA 2K League. We got Ivan Curtis, part of the NBA 2K League currently, head coach of the Brooklyn Nets gaming crew. And GM. A Willie, former scout for the Suns, worked for the Red Sox, worked for Nike, all around good guy. And then we got Kelly Wells Brinkley. She's our Olympian. And if you want to race, you will lose to her.
And I'll take all your money.
She will. Don't let her do that. Just you see a little short little baddie running around Houston and you want to race her, you're probably gonna lose. So don't do that. And then we got D-Dubs, all around good guy, says all the right things, good husband. A good person on this show, and he gets me going like nobody else. Crazy stuff. You ready to say some crazy stuff? You gonna say some crazy stuff?
I'm good. We can wait till the show starts.
Okay, all right. Let's go. Yeah, there you go. Thank you for putting it on the tee for me. We're talking NBA playoffs, of course. We'll let you guys gloat there. Talk about the C's. Heat, Nuggets, Clippers. The Blazers doing some trolling on the side. We'll get into that. Kemba Walker a little down on himself. We're going to have Renee Montgomery on to talk about the WNBA. We still will. We'll just follow A. Willie's lead on this. Renee was on the ESPN2 broadcast last night at halftime
She
with
was.
LaChina, right? I believe LaChina.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
At halftime. Yep.
Halftime. We'll get into that. MLB playoff bubble. We talked about the World Series going to be in A. Willie's backyard. Now we know how this whole playoff bubble proposal will sort of look like. We'll get into the Pac-12, Big Ten. Of course, our eagle-eyed Olympian, Kelly Wills Brinkman, sent it to everyone's attention this morning, and we were able to talk about that. We'll get into a little Ed Ogeron. Look, you can't blame him. He's a raging Cajun. He's just crazy like that. But he said some pretty, crazy stuff about COVID and testing. We'll get into a League of Legends. Got a big deal with Nike. Saw some Air Force Ones, some Nike, some Jordan, some ones and things of that nature. League of Legends trying to have a little swag about them. It is the largest esport tournament, and I think the best run league. Still don't know what the hell they're doing when they play the game. That's why I don't think it'll ever translate. But that's just my thoughts on that. Compete Forever on Black News Channel this weekend, episode 16. All right, let's go. Let's dive in. Nuggets advanced last night. Kelly, take it away. Nuggets, they did it 3 straight. 4 times they were down double digits. They came back. Man, the Clippers, and I don't know what the hell Paul George is talking about. Playoff P, like, it was never playoff a bust. Shut up. You did say that. Like, what are we doing? Look, we talked about it last night. At some point, you got to have some urgency. They never displayed any urgency in this series when they got up 3-1. It was like, we got it in the bag. And the other team was like, we kind of like it here in the ball. Kills? Gloat?
I told you. I didn't see any urgency from the Clippers. I didn't see any kind of fire from them after a certain point. There was blood in the water. They found the prey.
Yeah.
That was it. Like there's not much more to say. Like it was just, from watching the deficit that the game was at last night, like, wow, really? Like 20 points? It was phenomenal. Loved it. Told you guys, I know what I'm talking about. Like just because I'm a lady, I know. Go with me. Go with me.
We are, and my thing was, it's like the Clippers had a double-digit lead, and then it's like you turn around in 5 minutes, Willie, and it's like, damn, Denver's up 10. Like, what's going on here? Can y'all get a stop? Where's this vaunted defense? Where's Pat Bev? Where are these wings that are the best in the NBA? Where are these? We got billboards all over LA. Like you got Kawhi and this New Balance commercial. He's got the crown and stuff. Like, dude, y'all talked a big game and they spit up on themselves. I mean, that was Similac all over the damn jerseys last night.
Yeah, and I picked them to win the championship, and I thought for sure that they would be able to win it. I know one of the things for me, and I was trying to make this point yesterday, is you sort of you gamble when you decide throughout the season, okay, what's the most important thing to you? Home being the number one team in terms of home court advantage, and we're talking records here only because we're in an environment where there are really no fans. So we're talking records, and really what you're looking at is matchups. We always say styles make fighting. So when you start looking at the road to the Western Conference Finals, the Lakers actually had an easier road because they were the 1 seed. And again, you referenced this yesterday, Larry. Even though that was a 2-3 seed, they were separated by a couple of games. These teams were close in the standings. So with that being said, the Clippers rolled the dice, and it came back to get them. That sense of urgency that you're talking about, that was sort of the way that they approached the season, because their thought process was, okay, we're really trying to play for the Western Conference Finals and the championship, and whoever we play, we can beat them in a 7-game series. So they really weren't trying to win the West, and it came back to get them because they had a tougher matchup, and that was one of the things. And then the other thing too for me that's interesting about this whole thing in the playoffs too, and you could say this with Miami in the Celtics series, with the exception the 4 teams that are playing, 3 of the 4 teams actually have traditional point guards, traditional big men. So this is a nod back to traditional basketball. The Celtics don't have a quote unquote traditional center, but they have a traditional point guard. So with that being said, the Clippers now, we're trying to go with that hybrid. We kind of got a point guard, we kind of don't. And then the thing that really exposed them as well is the center position. Now they got 20 from Montrez last night, but throughout this entire playoffs, that's been one-sided, right? So, and that really, really hurt them. So now as they look to kind of trim the edges and fix their team? Will they look for a traditional point guard, and will they look for a quote unquote traditional center to help them play against these teams that they're going to have to combat if they're trying to win the championship next year and beyond?
Yeah, I saw Steve Ballmer damn near falling asleep last night as they showed him in the stands last night. Look, point guard wasn't their problem last night.
Yeah.
That wasn't their problem. So I don't know. I mean, yeah, in a sense, looking at it from a roster construction standpoint, maybe you add that, but that wasn't their problem last night. They just got beat by a team that was hungrier than them last night.
Yeah,
And
they did. But I'm pointing out,
yep.
but I'm also pointing out their deficiencies. They did.
Yeah.
They absolutely did. But
They didn't have a
if you
point
look
guard when
at
they were
their-
up by 3-1.
But if you look at their roster, even when they were going to play the Lakers, that was the thing. Put Lou Will in pick and roll because he doesn't defend point guards and defending Anthony Davis. So that's always been their deficiency.
Sure. Well, that's
Whether
a
it was their
deficiency for a lot of
deficiency or
damn
not.
teams.
Right.
No. That's again not 3 of the 4 teams that are playing. That's my point. Right. We're back to traditional basketball. Not 3 of the 4 teams that are actually playing.
No, that's good points there. Hey Willie, D Dubs, you want to jump in here? Clippers last night, wet the bed?
They wet the bed. I don't know. Kawhi.
No, I mean, Kawhi, was he 14 points last time? Was he 6 of 20?
They called them the trash bros.
6 of 22, 14 points.
Yeah.
Paul George,
6 of
4
22?
of 16 in a game 7 money game.
You deserve to lose. You
Come
deserve to
on.
lose. That man, point blank. What is that? That's 9 of 30 by my math or something like that, right? Yeah. You deserve to lose.
That's
So
terrible.
9 of, but you said 6 of 22 and 4 of whatever it was, 4 of 16. It's like
4 of 16, 10
so
points.
like 10 of 38. You deserve to lose. When you 2 players
Right.
play like that, you're gonna lose.
And I've felt this for a long time about, I think for the last 10, 20 years, I have a problem with this word great. I feel like people just throw it around.
Good point.
And everybody's crowned great. And I expected more from Kawhi last night. I really did. But it just reminded me, everybody's not great. Everyone's not built for this. And for a game 7 and like Kawhi not really show up for that game, I give Denver a lot of credit. They were hungry. They're big man. They got a true 5. And he's a problem.
Point.
He
That's the point.
He's a problem. He takes me back about 20 years, the way he plays the game.
And he knows
Well, and when you look at Denver, I don't think
he
they have
knows
the
he's
greatest,
a problem.
I don't think they're the greatest point guard either.
Time out. Have you again? We talked about this yesterday, right? Monte Morris.
Mhm.
That's a traditional point guard, right? We talked about this yesterday. So when they play him and Jamal Murray together, that was my point yesterday. The playmaking that you have doesn't allow the Clippers to set their defense. It takes predictability out of it. That's exactly what I was saying yesterday. So again, that traditional point guard and a traditional big. I'm sorry, D, but go ahead, brother.
No,
Go ahead,
I mean,
yeah.
they just wet the bed. I don't know.
Yeah, that's
I hear what
far, man.
I hear what you're saying, hey Willie. But I don't even know if they were playing Houston. if they were, I don't know. I just expected more from a championship caliber player like Kawhi Leonard.
Denver's better than Houston. Right.
But him himself, he can't walk away with 14
I
points.
agree with that.
He can't.
I
You're
certainly,
right about that.
that's not the point. You said
Right.
I'm saying Denver is a better team.
No,
than
you're
Houston.
absolutely right.
So,
That is a
yeah,
positive.
yeah.
That's a statement, and that's a fact.
And then this sits with you. You can't live this down. I mean, maybe Kawhi can because he has a championship ring, but
Right.
the rest of them,
Rings.
even I feel bad for Doc Rivers.
He's got 2, 14 and 19.
Yeah, but you're the chosen one. You were expected to get to the finals, at least get to LA.
At least the conference.
At
finals.
least.
Bare minimum.
At least.
You can't have a crown on your keychain in a New Balance commercial.
And
You
if-
guys, I saw they had championship batters Christmas Day champions. That's
And
the
if you're-
Clippers right now.
And
Christmas
if you're
Day
Paul,
champions.
if you're Paul George, you can't say nothing. You just need to keep your mouth shut. Because 10 points,
Look at
game
you.
7.
All right.
Come on.
10 of 32, OG. 10 of 38. You're gonna lose.
Oh,
You're
without
gonna
a
lose.
doubt. I think
No, you're gonna lose on a random Tuesday in Milwaukee, in Sacramento, with numbers like that.
Nah, I think a lot of times the 2 players in particular, Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, I think the hype around Kawhi just coming off a championship and things of that nature. He has never been the forefront guy. Like, I mean, a lot of his success has been limited individually, but more of the team that's been around them and how they contribute. I felt that same way in Toronto when they won the championship. He played well, but the role players and everybody around him played above and beyond.
Out of their mind.
Yeah.
And look at them this year. They did not play as well, and that's why they got beat in the second round. You're right about that.
Yeah. So going forward with the Clippers, I didn't think the Clippers role players were better than Toronto Raptors role players, considering they were inserting Kawhi to the lineup. Paul George, I don't even know why we talk about him as much as we do. I mean, he's always been somebody that potential has been like through the roof, but it's never amounted to anything. I think he showed flashes throughout his career every team he's played for, but just haven't been able to put it together. And last night was, a perfect example. Denver came out. They was more hungry. I think A. Willie made a great point. I think he was saying that you had mentioned something similar, that there were only 2 or 3 games in between them anyway. I mean, so to some point, I mean, it could be a surprise to a lot, but not to many. I mean, Denver, I think their roster is a little bit more complete, considering that they do have a center that can make plays, that can score and put pressure on other defenses. That's something that doesn't exist in a lot of lineups right now, even on the East right now, and even in the West. Anthony Davis is a hybrid. I mean, he can play inside and outside. But when we start talking about traditional centers, he have a back to the basket. He can face up and different things like that. So. It was disappointing to watch them perform so terribly in a meaningful game, but also to drop a 3-1 anyway.
Right. And the show no urgency. I mean, it was just Doc. I mean, Doc's sitting there like, "Come on, guys, come on!" And it's like, "Dude, y'all down 15. It's like 6 minutes left. Like, there's no tomorrow." Like, I didn't get it. Like, it was milquetoast.
Paul George
felt like a Tuesday in Sacramento.
He's a finesse player.
Yeah.
Like, I don't.
He's never won a series that he shouldn't have won.
I don't see no ball.
You can say that about a lot of people.
That is true.
Say that about a lot of people.
But if you want to be that guy,
not NCAA.
Yeah, but if you're making $150 million and you want to be that dude, it's like.
And I forget the guy from Duke, the point guard that blew out his knee. That's the commentator now. I can't think of his name.
Jay Williams.
Jay Williams said something the other night, and it hit a chord with me. He talked about Kawhi Leonard and how his game doesn't translate to his teammates. And I get that, because his personality is so kind of quiet to me. So, some of the other great players like the Jordans, you could feel the energy when they made a big play, or, they did something spectacular on the court. You could just feel it, and it motivates everyone else to step up. I don't get that from him. Like, he just plays this game and he gets his 30 and he just goes about his business.
That's a really good point.
Right. It really is.
Great point.
And even last night, I'm watching them miss shots, and I'm like, oh, that pressure is getting to them, because nothing's falling right now. And Denver, Murray, he's just one leg up in the air, his swish, he's just hitting shots, and it was like a snowball effect. I said, oh, they're in trouble.
When you got Jamal Murray blowing by your best 2 defenders and dunking on you with 2 hands, I don't know, dude. Like, I mean, can you imagine Jamal Murray doing that against the Lakers? I can't. Ain't no way in the hell he's doing that. So my point is, like you're saying, it's like, look, you got these 2 phenomenal players. Where is the fight? Where's the 1-2? I didn't see that the last 4 games. It was disappointing. Like, I was pretty pissed last night. And then, Kelly made me laugh with the Nuggets and stuff like that. I'm like, well, shit, let me go get some honey mustard. Let me. So, look, give the Nuggets credit, man. Real quick, go ahead.
You know what you said, D, when you say that, and I can say this from playing the position. You know where you get that energy from? If your best player is like that, you know where you get that energy and that type of leadership from? Your point guards. So again,
you want him to be your leader,
right?
Yeah.
So again, right? So that's where it comes from.
It felt like Doc was out there by himself last night. It really did.
Yeah, and again, like I overplayed the fact that I thought there was enough talent for them to overcome that. Again, it is, and we all know this from competing at the various levels that we competed at. Of course, Kelly competed at a higher level than all of us. But when you're doing that, again, it is hard to turn on a switch. especially if you're not experienced enough to ever done that before.
I was about to say, if you've
It
never
is
turned the switch on
it
and
is
off
hard
before.
to turn on the switch. So if you go through the regular
Everybody
season,
turns it
right?
off. Can you turn it back on?
Yeah. So you go through the regular season and it's okay. We're going to, that's a risk, right? You're going to load manage. You're going to do that. And then you get to the playoffs. It's like, okay, we're going to ignite a flame. And, you know, I overplayed that for sure when I picked them to win it.
Disappointing season. We can all agree on that. They didn't make it to the conference finals. I think that was the bare minimum. Look, there's no shame in losing to the Lakers, but to blow a 3-1 lead, it leaves a bad taste in your mouth. And we'll see what they do in the 2020-21 season. Keep it with this series here. We saw C.J. McCollum and Dame Lillard last night. Some great trolls last night. This was good stuff.
Comedy.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I should extend the Cancun invite since I haven't made my arrangements yet. Dame Lillard talking to Pat Bev last night. Another one was C.J. McCollum. My last tweet before I finished this glass, he had this wine event last night, apparently.
Yep.
Wow.
Did they vote? They ain't want to play no more, but I didn't think they was going to go out like that. Oh, shots fired, man.
Cried.
Yeah. And did you see
like
the Game 7 duo power ranking? And he had Jokic and Murray no 1, Lillard and McCullough 2, and he had Kawhi and PG 259.
Oh,
that was funny too.
I saw the Bulls, the 96 or 98 Bulls, and then the Clippers, because they were talking about how this team was going to be so great and stuff like that. I saw them on billboards in LA. We're showing some of the pictures now. It was some good trolling last night. Just want to get you guys' thoughts about, hey, man, what goes around comes around, man. You're going to talk that talk. Look, everybody's going on vacation. There's only going to be one champion. So sort of be careful, when you're calling out other teams, man. Only one team is going to be happy at the end of the season. I don't give a damn who you are.
Right. I mean,
OG first.
No, that's right. I thought it was well deserved. Pat Bev reminds me like the little brother who picks fights, and then when it's time to fight, let me go get the big bros. You know what I'm saying? The real players, like, you know what I'm saying. So he earned every bit of it. I actually happened to be scrolling and caught it. I caught McCollum's right when they went out, and I said, "Oh man, they about to get on them big time tonight." But no, it was well deserved. I mean, it's like you said, everybody's going on a vacation eventually, even the champions after they win it. So I mean, unfortunately, they, like I said, Pat Bear, he's annoying. He's one of those type of guys that if he's on your team, you like him, you appreciate everything that he brings to the table because he's all about the team. But if you're opposing, like, you can't wait to get a crack at him anywhere it goes, on and off the court.
Yeah. Your thoughts on this, Kelly, man, with the troll game? CJ, Dame got in on the action last night. Pretty good fodder.
I love Dame. I do. Great person all around. But, I thought it was phenomenal. I think it's great for TV. I think it's great for ratings.
Great for us.
It's great for us. Like, I need some giggles too. Like, let me kiki. And, I know how it feels to be on the winning end and on the losing end. And as a competitor, we all know that this happens, and you got to take the good with the bad, get your stuff together, bring it back. Maybe it's a wake up call, like, damn.
There was a billboard, Cancun over championships, and it had a picture of Kawhi on one hand and PG on the other. Hey.
I'm so with it. I love trash talk. It was one of my downfalls as an athlete because as a woman, they don't really expect us to trash talk. I'm supposed to be the cute little girl and congratulate somebody at the end of a race. And like, I've always been a trash talker. I competed with the boys when I was young. I'm going to tell you, come get it. I'm going to say what's on my mind. So I love trash talk. I love rubbing dirt in people's faces. Call me petty, but I mean, that's why I sent some nuggets last night. Like, this is what I do. I think it's phenomenal. And I mean, it's all in good fun. If they take it personally, like, sorry, shouldn't have lost.
No, exactly. You know what? Fight that battle on the court, dog. I had 94 feet and 48 minutes to figure that out, man. So I don't want to hear all that stuff. Hey, Willie, your thoughts here, man, on the back and forth, man, with the Blazers backcourt and the Clips.
I think it's good in this era when we live in the AAU grassroots era where all these elite players see each other every weekend, and people joke you public, or the person that says I don't watch the NBA anymore says these guys are too friendly. Well, when you watch this banter going back and forth, this is, if the guys that played in our era, if there was social media, this is how they would treat each other. So for me, this is good to see. I like seeing it. Love that these guys are being competitive. And one thing I'll say about Kawhi in particular, I'll say this. GOQ Public, again, one of the things that is another criticism of today's athlete is the fact that, man, I can't believe these athletes talk so much. These guys talk too much. Why don't they just be quiet and play? Well, again, because we all have an opinion because of social media, this guy actually is quiet and plays, and people find something to say about it. So with that being said, these dudes can't win either way.
Sure. You might as well just be you. Just be you.
Just be you.
Just be who you are. So it's good to see again, as I said. I love seeing it because I love to see the competitive things. I love to see the banter back and forth. And the last thing I'd like to see is, when these teams play next year, I can't wait to see this either.
D-Dub, did you get in on this?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
But just kind of piggyback a little bit off of what Antonio said. Back in the day, if we had Twitter, not only would they tweet back and forth to each other, when they got on the court, somebody would be up against that back support in the lane because it was a totally different game. But I'm really not one to get into the back and forth. I'm like a good sportsman kind of person, but they deserve that. They had that coming because Pat Bev, when Damian Lillard was Portland was trying to fight for their playoff lives in the bubble and they started the whole thing with the Dame time and all this stuff when they thought they were going to lose and be out of there. Then you got Paul George got involved, had nothing to do with him. And now it just came full circle right back to them. And in the worst way, you blew a 1-3 lead. That's going to sit with you forever. Yeah. You were destined and chosen to get to the championship.
Clippers, I believe, 50 years have never gone to a conference championship. I still can't believe that stat right there. Yeah. And how about the Nuggets, the first team to come back from down 3-1 in the same postseason there? OG, your thoughts here on the other trolling job about the dudes up in Rip City?
I got in already, Larry. I was first.
And I know Dikembe somewhere going, yes.
All right, good stuff. We'll keep it in the NBA. Heat Celtics last night. Thought my boys were going to pull it through. Damn, hell of a block by Bam out of Bio, man. I mean, great game. I think both teams deserve the win. Both teams probably deserve to lose too. Celtics have the lead. Great third quarter. Great first quarter. Great third quarter. Heat come back. It's back and forth, nip and tuck down at the end. Tyler Hero saved that bacon. They were down 4 or 5 with like a minute left. And that 3, man, he hit over Kemba, man. I was like, I don't feel good about this. They could have gotten that one stop there. The game's over, and they didn't. They cut it to 1, and that was pretty much the end for the Celtics there. They were lucky to get in overtime, to be honest with you, after Jimmy Butler hit that shot. Your thoughts here on this game 1? This thing looks like it's got 6 or 7 written all over it. Gordon Hayward likely won't play tomorrow. We'll find out more, but it looks like he's going to be out tomorrow. Looks like they're going to hold him out. So, Willie, it's sort of like what we talked about. I'm like, if you're going to hold him out for 1, you're probably going to hold him out for 2, and just hope like hell you're not down 2-0. But then he's going to play the rest of the series, I think. So we'll see.
Yeah. No, this series is really entertaining, and I think one of the things that we discussed yesterday, Larry, and Bam made, of course, an incredible defensive play, but again, going back to, with point guards and bigs, like they're getting great play from Goran Dragic as well. Like, so when you add him, you're getting that play at that point guard spot, then you're getting that play in the pivot with Bam. And the thing about Bam, even with that incredible block yesterday, I know one of the things we discussed, Larry, is if Bam has one of those games, 9, 10, 11, 12 assists, that means your team is in trouble because those cats are making shots. He had 9 assists last night. So again, no doubt. So again, when
how many threes did the Heat hit last night? I forgot. Yeah, I forgot too. Because that's going to be the barometer for me. I mean, we got one of the best 3-point shooting teams in the league.
45%, I think.
That number needs to be well below 40.
So that ties right into the assists. If Bam is spraying the ball out on the perimeter to shooters and things of that nature, and you can effectively invert your offense and have your big. That's very hard for any team to deal with. It's very hard for any team, especially a team that, when you start looking at, again, you look at the Celtics and you look at how they're playing. If you look at Tice, like that's a totally one-sided matchup. And it can't be completely one-sided.
Well, I don't
especially
like
with
the
Bam.
fact that the Celtics started doubling it. I'm like, no, it drives me crazy. And I know you're a
Those
basketball guy,
assists.
but it
Those are the
drives me
assists.
crazy to double guys. I'm like, let them score with a hand
Well,
in the face.
well, again, especially when you have a guy that has the basketball awareness of a Bam, make him into a scorer, right? Put it into a point guard sense. That's what people would say about Rondo. That's what people would say about Jason Kidd. Make him a scorer. Stay home and make him a scorer, right? So if we make him a scorer, but if he has 12 points and 16 assists, that's not good for us. But if he has 17 points and 4 assists, then now that's a totally different conversation,
I agree.
right?
I'm like, you know what? Let him have his
So
20 and 10 and 3
yeah,
assists. We're good. We can live with
right,
that.
right. But if Bam's got 9, 10, 11, if he's sniffing a triple double and he's doing it with assists,
Yeah,
the Celtics are in trouble.
they're in trouble. Yeah. OG, you can get in on this. Look, the Heat, they're going to be a problem. Look, dude, they're the opposite. They're the antithesis of the Clippers. These dudes will fight. And every time my boys got the lead last night, I had a pit in my stomach like, this is the one damn team that ain't going away. Not with Jimmy Buckets on the other team. Hero's a dog. He's a bucket. We remember him from Kentucky. Bam Adebayo, we know how good he was. That was a really good Kentucky team. I don't know how they lost to freaking Kansas State. Well, I do know they couldn't hit fucking free throws. But I digress. That's a really good team, man. They're a lot better than people think.
No, I said it before about the Heat is that they do it by committee. It doesn't seem like nobody cares who's scoring, who's taking the shots, and things of that nature. And it's paying off. I mean, it was a very entertaining game, but probably one of the better playoff games, to watch so far. And Jimmy Buckets. I just, man, I want to see. I want to see Miami get to the finals. I mean, because I think about the teams that like kind of picked them up and threw them away and different things, but now they sitting and watching him, and what he's doing, being infectious with the players that were already on the Heat. It's just been phenomenal. I mean, they shot the ball really well. Shot 44% from the three. It was six. I think it was 16 for 36.
16. That's too many. I needed 12 or less.
The other surprising stat for me though was, they had more points in the paint than the Celtics. I mean, almost doubled it. And I mean, and that you can't let them shoot that good from outside and then dominate from the inside. And it was a recipe for disaster. But it was a phenomenal play by Bam at the end of the game. Almost looked like he could have broke his hand or something. The way he blocked.
I thought Jason Tatum was about to yam on him, yoke on him, and then at the end it was like, it was good to see a comment here. Boston City of Champions 207. Thanks for talking. He was talking about the trash talk, bad shot selection. That's what I was going to ask Kelly about because the Celtics got hot in the third quarter. They start falling in love with that daggone, these 20-foot jump shots, contest them. Like, dude, that's the worst shot in basketball. I either want to open three or something a little close. I thought Jason Tatum at the end of the game started settling for some real tough jump shots. Nothing at the basket, maybe because he wasn't getting some foul calls. I think he was getting a little frustrated with that. Your thoughts on this, Kelly? With our C's down 1-0 right now, and we better start looking ahead till tomorrow. We probably need to win tomorrow. I don't know if it's must win, but man, we don't want to go down 0-2.
Damn it. They're all must wins. They're all must wins. That's how it has to be looked like. We're too far into the
Some are more
playoffs.
must than others, though.
Everyone is a must. If you win, then you can't go to 7. Like that's just how it goes. And I think that teams need to look at it, have more urgency. When Miami controls the pace of the game, they are deadly. So the C's have to work into taking back the pace, running the game how they want it to be run. And I watched, a good third quarter from the C's, but then I watched just up and down and then almost what is past urgency of like the freak out of happening like oh my gosh, like professionals, winners cannot function like that. You have to be in control of any situation if you're ahead or if you're behind. If someone jumps out on you, you have to know I have to chip at it away slowly and consistently and not jump outside of our game plan. And I saw the C's get outside of themselves a lot last night, and that is not going to get it done because Miami is a tough team, boy. Like they are they are some gangsters. Like they are not going to back down. They're not scared. And now I think maybe this game one was a good taste of, all right, because the Caesar are always known as the scrappy team. Now they're playing somebody who kind of mirrors that. So how are we going to respond to ourselves at this point? And I hope that game 2, they really sit back, look at some film, look at what needs to be done, stop the damn double, and play their game the way that they would like it to be played, not just let another team control it and then respond to it. You can't just be responsive.
Yeah, the Celtics one of the best 3-point field goal defensive teams in the league. Derwin, I looked at last night, and I just felt like the Celtics have done this now this season. And it seems like they've lost their share of them, probably more than half of them, when they've had double-digit leads here. We saw that against Toronto, and we saw it last night. They were up by like 10 with like, what, 7, 8 minutes left with the ball, up 10, 11 with the ball, and they really couldn't. It's like you can feel it. One more stop or one more bucket, you get it to 12, 13, 14, and I do think it's over. It just stayed at 9 or 10. I'm like, I'm just going to come back.
Yeah, I mean, I think someone said it kind of eloquently, but when you look at a team like Miami and a team like Toronto, they're like the opposite of the Clippers. Like Miami has some real dogs,
Yeah,
they even when they're down, they're gritty, they're gonna come back, they're gonna fight you. And that's what they did last night. And is it me or one? That was just game 1. We're just getting started, folks. That was the first game, overtime. And I can't remember a bigger block than that. I know they kept showing LeBron's block, but this block, but this block was different because it was a 2-point game and it was 4 seconds when they met at the rim. So Tatum is going to flush that thing. He's either going to get tie the game with a dunk with 4 seconds left, or he's going to get an and one with a possible chance to go up one with a free throw, or what's going to happen is what we saw happen. That's dramatic to me, and I cannot think of in my lifetime a more important block because dude's wrist went back.
I know,
and he was strong enough to still reject him. I mean, I think that for me, Willie, maybe you've seen something better. I think that was the greatest block I've seen.
Well,
to decide it to decide a game.
Nothing that late. Now we saw Olajuwon with the block on John Starks game 6, 94, and we saw LeBron did. But you're right. This was 3-4 seconds left in the game. So Olajuwon, I believe, occurred. Yeah.
The chase down versus the man-to-man meet at the rim is not even close. Like I can't even compare that. Like I can't. Down, you don't see. You didn't see him coming or anything. Right. But man-to-man, he trying to go slam it in. But
that was like that was Godzilla and King Kong climbing Everest and meeting at the top.
That's downright disrespectful.
We felt that at home.
He's trying to make you into a poster. Really.
No, he did, and it was amazing. I want the poster.
And he didn't shy away from it. He protected the rim. He saved the game.
That what? If Bam Adebayo had on some Under Armours, we must protect this house. That was a ready-made commercial.
Shoot, he might get a commercial.
He might get a commercial.
He might get one.
He might need you managing.
Hey.
Well, Under Armour, they got some issues. They have to give money back, or I guess UCLA pulled out a few months ago. They got some issues structurally and financially at Under Armour. Kemba Walker said he played terrible last night. He has been playing terrible. He was shooting like under 30%. I wonder if the knee is bothering him, Willie. But for this team to be next level, elite, maybe give the Lakers a run for the money. They're going to need that backcourt to play out of their mind. They're going to need Walker. They're going to need Tatum, Brown, and Gordon Hayward to damn near give you 70 or 80. That's what they're going to need, Willie. If they want to beat a team like the Lakers, or if they want to beat a team like the Heat. And right now, Kemba, he hasn't played well at all in the whole damn bubble. Not just the playoffs, the whole bubble. And here's a guy that has had a phenomenal season. I love it. Love the step back. I think he's hurt. I think that knee's bothering him. I think the size is a factor as well. I think they're exploiting him on defense. Am I wrong?
No, you're spot on with that. And I can tell you, again, as a point guard, with one of the ways that people would try to neutralize you is part of the reason why you look at situations like Chris Paul, and it's one of the reasons why Isaiah Thomas should be recognized, the real Isaiah Thomas should be recognized as one of the greats that he is. Reason being is because when you are a point guard in the NBA and you are, you're dealing with people that are 6'10", 6'11", 7 feet tall in the case of a Kevin Durant, that can essentially do the same things you can do, it is hard as you know what to win a championship doing that. So, so when you look at that, you need all of your wheels, you need all of your capacities. You need to be functioning at the apex of your respective powers to be somewhat effective when you're playing at this level. And so when you're a point guard and you're hurt, when they can put size on you to try to neutralize you, and your only advantage is quickness. And again, I was saying this, being able to move left and right with the ball efficiently, right? And you can't do that, that really, that's your only way that you'll be able to compete. So I don't think he's right. And then the second thing, we talked about this before, again, I'm beating up on Joe Q Public. When Joe Q Public says, man, why is my team an 8 seed? Why don't we just go get another lottery pick instead of losing in the first round to a 1 seed? Well, again, because you want your rookies, you want your second year players getting that playoff experience as early as possible. Kemba is in his 9th year in the league, his 10th season. And
First
this is the
playoff win.
first time, this is his first playoff win. So again, even if he were full strength, this is a different level of basketball, right? And he's experiencing this in his 10th season and leading the team with championship aspirations. So you want the Trae Youngs, when I was in Phoenix, you want the Devin Bookers, you want these dudes getting this playoff experience as early as possible.
Yeah. Kelly, your thoughts here on Kemba Walker and his struggles so far in this series, or actually pretty much the whole return to the NBA?
Forever. No, I think that the injury is definitely playing a huge key in it, not only physically, but mentally. Like when you know that you're hurt, you know that you are mentally like it's a handicap. So you know one, something's going to hurt if you move a certain way, and you know that you don't have all your tools in your arsenal. So it's a little sad to see because I think he's a phenomenal player, but it's just the cards that he's dealt right now, and being injured, and then also knowing that other people know that I'm injured are going to force him into playing a way that he's not normally playing, force him into the freak out mode, the over urgency. So I don't love it, and I hate to see players injured because I've had to run injured, and
Hmm.
knowing that I've had to line up and other people around me know that I'm injured is a huge play on your psyche. And the one thing as an athlete that you have to have outside of any kind of talent is your confidence. And if that is taken away from you, if you are unconfident, if you are doubting anything that you do, you might as well just sit down and let somebody else play because it takes you completely out of anything that you're good at.
Oh, gee, how important is Kimba to this team? Now, get Gordon back. Maybe they can sort of, spread out the minutes a little bit. He did play, 50 plus minutes against Toronto in that game 6, had a grueling game 7. So you wonder if, those last, 3, 4, 5 games against Toronto and then this one, every other day. But although a lot of the guys say they're feeling better in the bubble actually than they would normally because there's no travel involved. So how important is Kimba to what the Seas are trying to do?
I think he's very important. I mean, from point guard, I guess combo guard, however you want to look at him, because I mean he can play make, but he can get buckets too. I think the way their team is built is perimeter oriented, and I think he's just another weapon to go with everybody else. I mean, I think Marcus Smart and guys like that have been playing exceptionally well, but Kimba is somebody they're looking forward to make plays. And also, I mean, he's a gritty defender. I mean, probably doesn't get a lot of credit or notoriety for it, but he's a competitor. And I think they need him. If he's going to be out there, they need him to play at a level. But like y'all mentioned with the, potential of that injury still lingering, it's unfortunate. I mean, you're at the height of, he hasn't been playing any meaningful NBA games for a while. So to be
Been to
there
the playoffs a
now,
couple of times and got beat in the first round up both times. Yep.
yeah, but to be where they're at right now and to know that his team has some dependency on him, it's tough. And I hope he can, somehow manage through. But it's going to be tough. I mean, because these are two. I think two of the grittiest teams, still playing, and that. So I imagine we watched a masterful game last night, and I think this is how it's going to be. I think every game is going to be close, and I think they're going to be battling and competing until the end.
Derwin, your thoughts on Kimba? Is this basically what we're going to get? Is this what C's fans should sort of expect?
I mean, if he's hurt and he's still lingering, it's not going to get any better. You don't have time to rest. he's got to strap it up and play. This was the day off between games. You got to play. It is what it is. His step back is still deadly. Even if he's only scoring 5 or 7 points, sometimes it's a matter of when you score those points. If the game is tied and he gets that step back from 16 feet, he can hit the bottom of the net.
Hit a big one last night too.
Yeah. So when he has the ball and that game is tied, I'm thinking he can hit any shot because he can free himself to get a shot. Yeah. And he hasn't killed his team. I mean, his team is still where they are in the Eastern Conference Finals. They're not like they're really struggling. They've gone up against some really tough competition, and it's the best of the best right now. So if you're Boston and the rest of the guys just got to man up and push through.
Yeah, good stuff. We'll see about that game 2 tomorrow night. We'll be watching only game on TV tomorrow night. I think game 1 of the Western Conference Finals is Friday, if I'm not mistaken. Real quickly, WNBA guys, Renee, our good buddy, our colleague, was on the ESPN2 last night during the WNBA coverage at halftime last night. I was on with LaChina Robinson, correct? Am I saying her name? I think that's right, LaChina.
Yeah, that's her name. Yeah, that's her name.
And just Connecticut playing last night. It's heating up in the WNBA. Hey, Willie, man, it's good to see the girls from the Wubble. Wubble, shake it, all the good stuff. Yeah, man, ready for some WNBA. It's all about the W right now, man. I'm excited to see the girls get some love and some shine last night.
Very much excited, to watch a playoff game in at the buzzer is just crazy to watch a corner 3 for a win, and watching some of these teams kind of overcome some of the with some of the people that opted out or some of the injuries that happened in the bubble as well. And you're watching some of these players take advantage of those opportunities. It's great to see. So I literally have a couple TVs going and watching those games, watching the NBA games as well. And last night the W games were on my main TV. So so again, watching those games and watching that again, especially when it's single elimination. I know the Clipper Denver game was single elimination as well. But when you're watching, it's one thing to see a series come down to a 7 game, but it's another thing to watch one game and your whole playoff life is dependent on one game and there wasn't a series. So, these games have been really compelling. Looking forward to these next rounds. And I'm excited about it for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
You got some specific things for specific teams you want to ask me about?
No, I just wanted to get an overview from you. It's early right now. We had those games last night. Who do you like here? I know we got the Mystics as the defending champs. I don't think they're going to win it this year. They got too much firepower still on the sidelines. Everybody get involved.
They're done.
They're done. Okay, so they're not in it. So
Connecticut beat them at the buzzer
last night.
Yeah. So who do you like? Then? You got the Sparks.
I'm sorry, Phoenix. Phoenix beat them at the buzzer.
Yeah.
The Sparks, the Lynx, and the Mercury. Is it 4 left, Willie?
So it's the Aces. So the Aces,
Vegas,
the
right?
Mercury.
Vegas.
That's Aces. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Mercury.
Sparks, right? LA.
Yep. Sparks. And then I'm going through the teams. Minnesota.
Yep. Seattle's out.
Oh,
Seattle's
Seattle.
Seattle Storm.
So this past weekend, Seattle and the Aces were playing for the 1 seed, and the Aces won. And to me, Asia Wilson is the MVP. Had an incredible season in the bubble. Especially, and this is from a Sparks fan, right? If I have to choose a team, no, she's the MVP. Had an incredible season, especially when you start looking at the fact that there was no Liz Cambage. That's a big loss, right?
Anybody?
So no Liz Cambage. Also, Kelsey Plum also tore her Achilles and didn't play, and she was playing really well in the playoffs last year. So when you start looking at that degree of difficulty and the things that they had to overcome, and then they get the 1 seed. She's the MVP.
Anybody?
And on paper, Seattle's probably the best team on paper.
Yeah.
But again, the Aces did an incredible job. And then Defensive Player of the Year is probably I know the awards came, but for me, it's Candace Parker. Had an amazing year. Had an amazing year.
Kelly, any thoughts? Go ahead. I'm trying to move it along. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Kelly. No, I'm just giving you your overview, man.
Yeah.
I love Asia Wilson. Like I'm super. Like she's from my husband's alma mater. So
was that
I
South
feel like South Carolina, yeah. So I feel
Dawn
like that's
Staley
kind of
doing
like,
it for the culture.
yo, Dawn is my like. Let
Yeah.
me. I remember when there was the ABL. I was super young. It was the Women's Basketball League. Dawn Staley and Jackie Joyner Kersey played for the Richmond team, and I
Hmm.
literally went to every home game, and I
Oh.
would sit there like I had never seen them play, and I would go and get their autographs. So just to, and then me and JJK are like really good friends, and I've communicated with Dawn, and to watch how she's taken that team and transformed them, like I really love watching South Carolina basketball, and I love Aja Wilson, and I'm really pulling for her. So just to watch like how the athleticism of women has grown and how
Mhm.
that it is much more mainstream for TV than it used to be some years ago. Just warms my heart as a woman, and then just seeing Renee doing her thing, like that's fam right there. Watching her grow and blossom and really take over, the TV world by storm is just, it's encouraging to young girls that I know that are watching, especially young girls that are her hue, her complexion, do the same thing as she does. It's definitely, it's just encouraging to see, and it shows that there's so many paths for women in sports, not just on the court or on the field or on whatever. Like there are so many different compelling ways that we can influence media today.
D-Dubs, you got anything?
I just enjoyed watching Diana Taurasi last night. I got to meet her eons ago, and Skylar Diggins play, and that team pulled that game out last night. It was real dramatic and exciting.
All right, good stuff, guys. Major League Baseball playoff bubbles.
Hey, I wanted to
Bubbles.
add, I'm
Go ahead.
anything
I was saying, get in here. I was saying, get in here.
I'm
Everybody.
anything Candace Parker. Like OG loves some Candace Parker, man.
Why does OG love Candace Parker?
I've been a big fan. I mean, I like watching her play. I like her game. I like the passion she played with. I mean, she's a beautiful sister too. So
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Yeah. I remember her from her Tennessee days. Absolutely. Being from that state. So loved what she was able to do. Pat Summitt's last, I believe, 2 national championships Candace led them to 07, 08, if I'm not mistaken. So
Yeah, she won
good
2.
stuff there. Yeah, she did win 2. Probably should have 3 while she was at Tennessee. Major League Baseball playoff bubbles down in you guys' home state, both of you guys' hometowns that you're in right now, Dallas, North Texas, and Houston. And then you'll get San Diego and the Dodgers. What are your thoughts here about the bubble? They're going to test every day,
Mm-hmm.
allow some fans, some family. I think this is a good idea. Baseball, Major League Baseball had, I want to say, about 40 to 50 positive tests. Not terrible throughout the season. Had about 43 games they sort of had to make up. So I think this is a good idea of what Major League Baseball is trying to do. It was something they talked about before the season started. I'm on board with this. I'm okay. I want to get you guys' thoughts on Major League Baseball and specifically the locations of these bubble locations.
I mean, I like it. I like the idea of the bubble. They watch the NBA do it. They watch NHL just about finished with their playoff run. And the location, 2 hot spots with California and Texas, but you're not going to have all the teams. You're gonna be down a couple of teams, and not everyone makes the playoffs. But nothing's going on in San Diego, so that's a good spot. LA, um, maybe the proximity is close as far as if you have to travel between the 2 stadiums. And then in Texas, same thing. You got Dallas and you got Houston. So I think it's a good idea. And then they're going into the home stretch, and they're dedicated to finishing this thing, regardless of whatever happens.
Your thoughts, Kelly? Major League Baseball. I'm sure you got to be happy. Minute Maid Park or Houston right
Yeah.
there involved in all of this.
I think it's cool. I feel like, I'm still worried about COVID, but nobody else is. So F it. Play. Spread COVID. Forget it. Everybody tongue kiss. Spread it around.
Oh wow!
Oh, wow.
Spread
We went
the
there.
disease. Whatever.
Trying to get COVID and mono. Damn.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
whatever. We're out here making it. But I think the locations are cool. I think it's good for travel. Airports are easy. I think family should be allowed in the bubble because what that does for you mentally, for players psychologically, is really good.
Well, and
Fans,
it keeps the thoughts out too.
Mhm.
no, it
Yeah.
doesn't.
No,
No,
it
it.
really
Ask
doesn't.
Daniel, what's up? It don't. It don't.
It's
But
hard. It's harder when wifey's around.
Yeah.
Trust me, we played for Dallas. No, it's not.
Oh boy.
Not.
I'll never forget being in Boston and they're at the Ritz-Carlton and the Yankees come through. This is, I don't know, this is the height of the Red Sox. So like 06, 7, 8, somewhere around there. The Yankees have, been good. The Red Sox are coming. They've won, one or two in that decade or whatever. And you just see them and they're all there. And you're like, wow, they're all lined up. Like, it's like lottery tickets. It's almost like publishing clearinghouse. Like, I'm going to hit the lottery tonight. It's crazy, man.
You know what's even crazier than that?
And the baseball guys have a way worse rap.
Oh,
way worse than the NFL.
They play 6,800 games. They play 6,800 games. Yes.
I thought basketball would be.
Oh no, baseball.
No, baseball is wild.
They're like women. They're like women. They're under the radar. You know what I'm saying? They're not as glamorous as the NFL and NBA guys. They do it just as much, if not more. They're just under the radar.
They got O's and area codes. It just is what it is.
Go ahead, OG. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Kelly.
I was gonna say, but then when the team brings them in, that's a whole nother thing. And then you got to think about these flight attendants, and there's lots of things that
they do have layovers and sleepovers.
I know. Yes. They handpick flight attendants. It's a thing.
United has something going on right now.
Right now.
For that.
For filling planes with white flight attendants and stopping the black women or women of color to from working on planes. But my husband has been like,
for chartered flights for teams?
For the teams. No, for the
why?
teams.
So why don't they want the black women flying on the plane? Or is it because the teams just want the white women because that's what we want? Is that what you're saying? Like, I'm trying to figure out why.
Yeah, or
somebody's
saying they too Danish. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like because these women are too aggressive, or this is the image that the guys want.
This is what the guys want. They are putting in place. This is a manufactured thing.
Right. So the guys want just the white women because that's what we want to play. Because this is why. Okay, it works for baseball because there ain't no black people in baseball.
Right. So it's a thing. But I think it's cool for the bubble bringing it back around. I think the places are cool. I'm for it. Whatever. COVID's here. Play.
Kelly, do you go outside? Have you been outside since
First
February?
of all, I have. I'm just strategic. I'm just not for the streets. So
Kelly runs everywhere. Out the door.
I'm focused. I'm focused.
Hey, Kelly, it should have been you in those Hertz commercials, not OJ. The airport hurdle thing.
Yes,
we gotta call Hertz. Me and you should do a Hertz.
We gotta call Hertz. We gotta get these people together. Cause
OG, jump in there. You about to
I mean, pretty much y'all have nailed everything. I mean, other than the fact that I guess better late than never. I mean, considering of course the number of teams and everything.
Well, they could do a bubble for 30 teams.
That's what I'm saying. But luckily, I mean, everything's gotten on course because it was a rough beginning initially. And taking some notes from the NBA, I mean, we done got cats that came from the strip club to the pub, from home
Lemon
to the
Pepper
bubble,
Lou,
and everything, and it's been successful. So I mean, obviously, to a large extent, it shows the bubbles work. So it's a great idea.
They work if you keep people out and only keep certain people in.
Well,
so that's how it works.
They'll test the thoughts too.
Well, I gotta love the thoughtness, boy. D-Dubs, hey Willie, y'all get in here. Is that it? Everybody jump in?
We got it.
Keeping it moving, bro. Keep it
moving. Hey, you know what? It is 8:00. We do need to keep it moving. We got 15 minutes. Pac-12, Big Ten. Finally, we talked about Pac-12. We're like, Pac-12, they're going to do something. They're looking at the middle to the end of November. Going to have this rapid testing. They'll start that. They'll get. I guess they won't actually get the equipment until the 1st of October, and then they need 6 weeks to sort of train. That's why you get the middle of November to the end of November. Hell, the Big Ten's going to beat them to the punch. They're going to play next month. What is it? October 23rd, October 24th. They're going to start testing like next week or two by the end of this month. We talked about this. Like, Kelly, we're going to start with you. Look, I know they were worried about these sort of medical concerns with the heart and things of that nature. But when you look at that controlled sort of environment that they had when they had the test results and things of that nature, it wasn't a bunch of young people. It was like 50 and 60-year-old men. So I was like, okay, I'm not buying that one. There are some issues there, but people want to play. I don't think they want to. I don't think people care about them playing for the right reasons. They just want their entertainment. They don't care about the
Right.
people and the student as an individual. But your thoughts here: the Big Ten, the Pac-12. Look, they can't have the SEC, the Big 12, and the ACC being the only ones playing. And conveniently, Kelly, it's going to end December the 9th, right when the last freaking rankings come out.
Look at that. Look at that.
Hmm.
Mhm.
I feel bad for these players. I know that, to them, a lot of them do want to play because they're thinking, ahead of what is to come. But I just think about the ramifications of COVID, what can happen to them long term. And then everybody's not going to the NFL. So like
No,
what are we really doing here? So
98% of them will not go to the NFL.
it's not happening.
No,
It's
it's
not
not.
happening. Like you play for Doo State, so it's not happening. Like
Dude,
so I'm just really concerned. Like you guys know how I feel about COVID, and then
yeah.
like now I feel like as a student athlete, I was a student athlete, some of us were student athletes. What you went through, the pressure, what you went through in college already was, well amplified than the regular student. Now think about like that is much more amplified because you have to think about health risks involved. So I worry about these young kids' psyches. I know a lot of them aren't built the way that, some of us are built like Ford tough. So I worry about, what's that going to do to their psyche. I wonder, it's just so many unanswered questions. I knew it was going to come back around. I knew that, there's going to be votes and people are going to fold and players are going to play. But one, I want them to stop being called student athletes because these people are not student athletes anymore. Like we are well beyond that. So it disappoints me, but if everybody else is playing, then I just want it to be controlled, protect the players as much as possible, please. Because I think about I have sons, I have friends, and like if someone dies from COVID or has long-term effects from COVID, like it's real, it's outside, it's
Sure.
there. Not
No,
it's
it's
not a
there.
we're not fear mongering. Like
And it's not going anywhere. And they're talking about, look, we'll probably get a vaccine here, maybe the end of the year, beginning of the year, but it won't be widely
keep it.
distributed
Mhm.
until maybe next summer. So, and I'm with you on that. I don't take the flu vaccine. I'm not taking this
I ain't
vaccine
touching
either.
none of
So
that
I
stuff.
I
don't
ain't touching
nah,
it.
they got it. I'll
I'm
drink
good.
some herbs.
Yep,
Mhm.
yep, yep. I'll rub some dirt on it. You know what I'm saying? That's the old.
Tussin. Tussin. Get you
Tussin, get
some
some
tussin.
tussin.
Right, right. Hey, will everybody else jump in on this? Pac-12, Big Ten coming back. Pac-12 more towards middle to end of November. Big Ten, literally in 4 weeks, 5 weeks.
You know how I felt about it. I said no one should be playing, but I'm
Well, I
just
mean, it basically, look, it's like, do you want some money or no money? Look.
I'm just amazed at how many. I feel like the parents sometimes got to protect the kids from themselves.
Hmm.
Kids are
Mhm.
always gonna want to play. That's what kids do. They want to play. This is a game they love. They love the game. But I'm just amazed at how no one's really looking at the risk involved that you could actually die from this. And everybody's pushing to play. I think that the fact that SEC, ACC, and the Big 12 didn't back away and they were playing, that kind of was the catalyst for the Pac-12 and the Big 10 because they're sitting back with good teams. They want to be a part of this part of the championship. And if everybody would have said we're not going to play, I don't think there would have been an issue. But the fact that you had three conferences say, three of the Big Five said that we are going to play, the Big Ten, you saw the parents there of those schools. They were had petitions and all this other stuff. Ohio State wants to play, Penn State wants to play, Michigan State. They don't want to sit back and have to watch Clemson win a championship or LSU win a championship, and they didn't even have their hand in the party. So I'm not totally shocked that the pressure got to the chancellors and the presidents, and they changed their mind. But this is what they're signing up for. I think it's sad that you can't have students on campus, but you can have students to go on campus to play a football game. And like I said, I've been reading comments and stuff on Facebook, and it seems like the parents, they've been pushing these kids. They want them to play, and they don't get paid for it. I just don't get it.
Yeah.
We got the NFL. They get paid to play.
Mhm.
These college kids don't get paid to play. They're supposed to be going to school.
I think you answered your question. It's big business. It's a business.
And
So
I understand that, but
we
it's
talk
sad.
about. You're right. I don't want to hear any more about student athletes.
Please, never
this
again.
is over. Let's just
Not
stop
ever.
it. And when people say it, tell them to shut up. Smack them.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Willie.
Okay.
Well, I mean, you can smack them, Kelly. You remember I told you you're our human shield. We can't particularly smack people, but you could. You could get away with it.
And you could run and be
I got your
fast.
back.
Exactly.
Catch
Yeah.
you.
What are they gonna say?
I got y'all.
Yeah, got smacked by a woman. Okay, dude, grow up, pair, right?
Shouldn't have been in my smack radius.
Exactly. No one told your face to hit my
Not the
hand.
smack radius.
Remove your face from my hand, and you won't get smacked. Hey Willie, your thoughts here? Big Ten, Pac-12. No surprise.
Again, as everybody was saying, as Derwin was saying, as Kelly was saying, I'm not shocked that they're playing. Again, would I want them to play? Probably not. If it were my son, I don't think so. We'd have to have a very tough conversation. But it wouldn't be a tough decision. It'd be a tough conversation with my son that has this air of invincibility that comes with youth. But again, as we've always discussed, and one of the things that I've said here is you have this issue where because of my abilities, you see me as superhuman, and then some of you see me as subhuman off the field, right? So this comes into play again, where you have these ailments that come, and you're like, okay, I'm not really worried about you catching it because you have these superhuman abilities. It's almost like you have adamantium, like Wolverine, because of how fast you can run, right? So I think that's one of the things to me that really kind of resonates when we see this, whether people say it or not. Those thoughts are behind it, because again, when you look at and I've referenced this before, but when you listen to, and I was actually noticing this is actually apropos, because I was noticing this when Naomi Osaka was playing. The things that the commentary was about her and her abilities, and she's so powerful, nothing about grit, nothing about intelligence. These are the things that carry the day in terms of the thought process. So that's not surprising. And again, as you all were saying, in terms of big business, if you're the Big Ten and you're the Pac-12, from a recruiting standpoint, especially the Pac-12, you're already behind the 8 ball. When you start looking at the college football playoff, and I'm saying this as a West Coast dude, West Philly, we have not had a team in the playoff, right? That is going to win this thing. So with that being said, the Pac-12 is already behind the 8 ball. And so now you're behind the 8 ball even more if you decide not to have a season and the quote unquote major leagues is actually playing. So I think that was part of it also. So for me, I had one more thought, but I lost that one. But yeah, I just think that it's really not surprising, and it's unfortunate, but it's not surprising. Oh, the last thing I was going to say too is just, if you're the Big Ten and you're the Pac-12, and a national champion has been already decided, every week that you play in the spring is a reminder that you didn't play for the national championship. So you don't want that reminder every single week. So I'm not shocked by this at all. Like Monster said in Boys in the Hood, peer pressure.
Right? OG, your thoughts real quickly?
For selfish reasons, I'm excited about seeing my Buckeyes hit the field. Obviously, I carry the same thoughts. I got a son that's playing football right now at the youth level, and I get constantly frustrated because I'm saying, here we are, our kids have the option of going to play football, but can't step a foot in school. And at some point, I'm like, where does that make sense at the end of the day? But like I said, like everybody says, big business. We need to, we can keep flaunting that student athlete tag all we want, but we know it's bigger than that. And, this is just proof of it. I hope, everybody is safe throughout the season and everything like that. And, I'm like, hey, Willie, though, I think if this was my son and he was in college playing and they was about to go through this, I probably maybe reconsider some things and have a tough conversation. Although I know my son at a young age now, I can't see his mindset changing. He don't want to go play, but it's tough. But I'm excited about it. Nevertheless, I just hope everybody's safe.
My son is playing. The first couple of weeks on campus, they weren't allowed to gather. They could work out individually. So they had some protocols in place. Now they're finally taking live BP, having some groups and things of that nature. They get tested quite frequently at Eastern Kentucky. He's passed every test. So look, I mean, it is what it is.
Look.
You know my thoughts on this. Look, if you want to shut it down, then shut it down. But you got to give me something. You got to do something. You just can't say shut it down. That's my only thought. And I'm with you on shutting it down. Then what?
What do you mean you got to give you something? Entertainment?
No. What do you want?
Oh, I was
He's got to go to. People got to go to school. The school's got to make money. You got to go to work. I got to go to work. The economy's got to move. And I'm not talking the Trump stupid stuff. I'll never vote for his ass. I don't even vote Republican. So that's a different story. But there is some truth to how bad do you want to shut this thing down?
Right. No, I agree with that. But
that's all I'm saying. Like,
yes, I agree.
I'll shut it down. I will stay at home. Give me a check. That's all I'm saying. Give me my check.
But these kids don't get checks.
They don't. No, but it's not really about them per se. It's about the school's going to lose money, no TV money. That's why they're saying, look, we'll take some money than no money. I don't know what your financial situation is. I mean, Kelly, you're married to a former football player. I don't know what your financial situation is.
What's that got to do anything?
Exactly. But who wants to sit down for a whole year with no money?
Yeah, you don't want to do that. Like, it's not about that. But then you also have to worry about not even just catching COVID, but also their health as players. If you are not preparing the way
your health
that
is paramount. Without your health, you have no life. So yeah, I get that.
Yes, but no, I'm not even talking about getting sick. I'm talking about on the field. Like all of these injuries that we have been seeing in the first week, all of these injuries that we will keep seeing, like teams not practicing hitting, like those things are they're not innate. These things are practiced. And if you don't have yourself in shape and not just, oh, look at me on the ladder, like that, like that's fake shape. I'm talking about game shape, game speed, taking a hit. Like, so these are also things that have to be thought about. But the people that are making the decisions are not thinking about them. And then if you have a 19, 20, 21-year-old, big chested dude, I think I'm all of that. Yeah, until you make that wrong move and now you have an ACL that's over there and you're over here. Now your whole year's a wash anyway, and now you have to do rehab to get back and you're never yourself again. So I think that there are lots of things to think about, because so what, we can't practice together, we can't gather together, we can't do these things together. So what does that do for the players on the field? So outside of just being sick from COVID, like there are so many things that make me nervous as like a mom who was watching, a wife who was watching, a friend who was watching. Like, damn, buddy just lost his whole hip. Like, think about the injuries that happen when they are in shape and they do have OTAs and they do have spring practice.
I will say this: the play, and when they looked at it from a physical standpoint, the play in the bubble was a lot better than they thought. Actually, just as good, if not better, than the regular season. The NFL, you listen to the commentary, listen to the coaches. A lot of them were surprised. Like, we don't really need preseason. That was the sort of thought coming out. Well, but I mean,
supposed to say that.
The players were even saying it too. That's what I'm saying. The players and the coaches.
The players hate preseason.
Players hate preseason. But now the coaches are on board. Like, this wasn't bad. So I mean, look. I mean, these are unprecedented times. That's what we got. That's what we have. Who was that? Tell him I said hi.
Is that you over there doing your wife?
Yeah, I think so.
Tell him we said what up.
Tell him we said hi.
They say hi. They can hear your conversation.
What up, wifey? What up, boss?
Let's serve again because we don't want to interrupt Dorland's wife's conversation. Let's serve out here. And Ogeron said most of the LSU players have caught COVID. This kind of sort of ties into what we were just talking about, which is, do you think these players are actually as safe in a college environment on a campus than being out in regular population? The more this thing goes on and watching my kid, I'm like, would he be in Nashville partying with his boys and hanging out and going to parties? Or shoot, he's in his apartment, just two other guys, and he's working out. That's it. I'm starting to come around like, maybe this is the worst thing for them to be on campus, to be controlled and things. And that's what I'm saying, Kelly, and you know this. When the rubber truly meets the road, I was like, all right, it's actionable now. I'm seeing it. Like, okay, I'm sort of on board. I told Coach T the other day, keep my kids safe, man. You don't want me coming down there, dog. And we have real conversations like, and he better start too. That's another thing. That's what we
Ah,
do. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what it is,
yeah.
guys. I mean, this is tough. Like it really this is a tough thing to deal with, man. It really is.
My problem with Ed was the his statement was very tone deaf.
It was like he said it matter of factly. But if you
Mhm.
go
Yes.
back, he
So
did cite the SEC and he says, look, I don't know about most. I know a lot of the guys have caught it. The offensive line set out, but you know how it is. That was the headline.
it
That's all it
was
was. It
He
well,
was a
I mean,
said we
headline.
make
I listened.
adjustments like it's a
Yes,
Yeah.
I
game.
listened.
Right.
I listened. And so
And the
it
guy's
was
gonna
just
corner like once you've caught it, you're good for 90 days or something like that. So yeah,
and I'm like, who told you that?
I
Like that's
know
who told you that? That's not the truth. You
the
don't know.
SEC guidelines, the medical
Don't say
professionals.
that. Don't
Right.
it just I just didn't like the statement because it was tone deaf of, it was so like, oh well, they've caught it. Some of them still have it. We don't really know. But I mean, world just everybody's cool though. Like,
Yeah.
what? You're saying it like it's a hangnail, my guy. Like this
The
is
whole
a
offensive line is out, but we dealt with it. We made
we
adjustments.
straight though.
Yeah.
We
We
straight.
straight.
Hey, the only thing I can think about the whole time I was reading that article was to hear him say it himself like that.
Oh, with that voice.
Yeah,
And that
Yeah.
Cajun accent.
right. That was the only thing I was thinking.
Go
I mean,
Tiger. Go
it was
Tiger.
it was it was all over the place. I mean, and like Kelly said, like it was no problem. Like the old line out at like it everything that he explained in that is the reason why nobody was a lot of people weren't big advocates for college football. So it was just amazing that how he put it out there. I mean, it was hilarious in a non-funny way, but I mean, you know,
It's all about defending a championship. That's the only thing he's
Right.
thinking about. Getting ready
Well,
for
Jamar
that
Chase
first.
is not going to play. They don't have Joe Burrow. I don't think they're going to repeat. But you are the champ, so you got to take it from him.
Yeah, you got to take it from him. And SEC football, South football, he's getting his team prepared to play some football. Period. He's going to let the chips fall where they may, but he's getting his guys, his roster, ready to play football.
They're trying to
They
talk the
got-
defensive lineman
COVID.
back in to come back to play, and he was going to sit out because his grandma's sick. And they're trying to talk dude back
No, they're
into it.
like,
And I
no.
think he's going to come back. It's looking that way. So it's like, what a
COVID
mess.
Hey, they worried about competing against other teams, and
Yeah.
COVID is whooping them right now. So
I know.
it's like,
Right.
He's thinking
Yeah,
about having
Texas
enough
Tech,
guys to
North
beat
Carolina, Notre
Alabama.
Dame. Yeah.
He want to beat Alabama. That's what he's thinking about.
So
I got to have
my-
enough guys to beat
my,
Bama.
Yep. My
Well,
best
and not only that, they
friend.
get Bama and LSU this year, right?
Yep.
Yep, they do. They give them. Yeah, they do because they beat them in Tuscaloosa last year.
Yep. My best friend is the associate head coach at Bama. And, we text all the time. And I was asking him, like, is this really happening? He's like, sis, this is happening. Like, it's happening. And, I asked him about his fear. And he's just like, well, I mean, once they drive it to you that you got to do your job because it's either do your job or someone else will. Like, that is such a scary feeling. But then it's not far from what the general public feels either. It's just on a different scale of, on TV. So it's happening, people.
You're right. Hey, Willie, your thoughts here, man. Ed Ogeron, go Tigers.
Yeah, growing up in LA and being a USC football fan, obviously, he wanted that job, and he was a big part of what was going on when Coach Carroll was there. Also, shout out to D's Seahawks. But one of the things when you look at this, Coach O is known as this players coach, and all the players love him and things of that nature. Well, we said this before. One of the good things that's happened from COVID is the curtain has been open and the game has been exposed. So for all those players that thought, man, Coach O is my guy, he understands me when he goes in the living rooms, it's I'm all with your son, all those different things, and I'm doing because I care about your son. The next time when you go on that recruiting cycle, all of these parents need to be listening to this and ask the appropriate questions. I'll leave it at that.
Good point.
Yeah.
Go ahead, OG.
But
No, I'm saying he hit on one right there, boy.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
hey,
but
That's a
but
great
then my question, hey Willie, is do the parents get it?
Because they're right there.
Well,
They're
D,
right
well,
there.
D,
Like, let
D,
them play. Let
well,
Yeah,
them
D,
play.
because
let me D, let me say this. All right. And now we can say this because we all look like us. And this
Right.
is a commentary on us. So I'm opening the door for people that don't look like us. Right. And we've talked about this before when we talk about normalizing certain things in terms of us being entrepreneurial in spirit and things of that nature. When you just hit on something. Oftentimes, when Ed Ogeron shows up, those are questions that we don't ask. But if Antonio Williams shows up, those are questions that we ask, right? So the way that we treat each other and the way that we treat them also is something that we really need to be much more diligent about addressing.
agreed. I think I am that statement is completely on point. And I think that that is something that we have to examine. And then also letting our people know that there are more ways to make it out of somewhere than just a ball. So, when Coach O shows up, they're thinking the bright lights, like, oh, I'm going to buy my mama a house and a Range Rover. Like, there are
It's
other ways.
legitimized.
Yes, there
Yes.
are other ways to attain, you know, fame and, success other
Yeah,
than, just
exactly.
a
Not
ball.
fame, just success.
Yes.
Absolutely. Other ways to be successful. Very simply, there are, many ways to skin a cat. So, there are other avenues to take. That's why you need more people like us and everybody else out there. They need to see more faces like ours in different industries and different, different settings, different communities. So I agree with that. Lastly, League of Legends. I was about to say LOL, laugh out loud. I'm like, what the hell is laugh out loud?
that's what they say. That's what they call it, LOL, though.
They do. They
They
do.
don't say League of Legends.
Yeah, the LOL.
Yeah.
They got this deal with Nike. Look like they struck it up. Man, I'm buying it. Like I said, I look. Say what you want. It's the number one esport. They got a great broadcast, a great product, great publisher. I still think it's a tough game to sort of watch and sort of digest for the average viewer. But I love this concept of working with Nike. I think it legitimizes what we're trying to do here in esports. We need to see more sort of collaborations like this and other esports and other publishers and other genres. Your thoughts on this with League of Legends, man? And the drip was swaggy too. It was good. Some good drip. Not none of this, oh, this is, esporty, this is gamer, we're going to make it look geeky or whatever. It was pretty good drip. I liked it. I mean, it had some Jordan ones, some Air Force ones, some nice hoodies, some nice, t-shirts. If I was a League of Legends fans, I would buy this. I would, yeah, I'd buy a little bit of it. Your thoughts on this, guys? Everybody jump in.
Yeah, I think from the esports standpoint is that, of course, League of Legends is one of the premier.
No, it's premier. It's the premier. It's the.
And the thing about it, you don't think when you think League of Legends, you don't think sneaker culture. So I think it's a perfect collaboration for them with that. I mean, I think it's been brought up oftentimes with the 2K League and the players and just basketball in general is more of a sneaker culture game. So I think it's good. I mean, me myself, I haven't had a high interest in League of Legends because me personally, I've never been a fantasy game player. I've always been a sim game player since got into.
And we're in the minority.
Right. So
That's
I mean,
why we had a Nike deal. Yep.
Yeah. So it's I think like you said, there's some cool concepts. I think even if you're just a sneakerhead and not into video games, I think a lot of people will actually rock them and buy them, and some probably keep them up because I imagine some of those shoes will be iconic later on down the road.
Yeah, good point. Anybody jump in? Kelly, hey Willie, D-Dubs, quick.
So I'll say this: being a sneakerhead, working in the industry as well. Again, and talking about.
Can you look us up, man? Can we get some Jordan 1s, some 3s? You got any contact with Nike,
man? I try to be really strategic about when I cash in a favor.
Oh man, I need a favor, brother. Don't you open one anyway?
Terrible.
I try to be really strategic about cashing. I don't cash in them I really don't cash in favors on my own, really.
We're not talking about you. I'm like, you owe me a favor. I want to cash in.
Wow.
Wow. And then here's the crazy part. Even when I was working there, like it's gotten to the point now where even some of those things that are exclusive, like even people that work there don't get them. Like oftentimes, like it's crazy how bots and things of that nature have really kind of made the sneaker culture to a certain extent not be as fun as it used to be.
It's a business.
And the resale market is just insane. It's insane. So yeah, but and again, talking about kind of piggybacking on the conversation that we were having earlier about us really being comfortable with reveling in the amount of influence that we have. You know, here's a culture that we've been talking about, the fact of the lack of diversity in esports, right? And if you look at all the silhouettes that they use from a shoe perspective, they are all the silhouettes that we made hot. So again, we really need to be comfortable
our culture
with
and freaking League of Legends.
Who we are, right? And accepting it, knowing it, and then also normalize the fact that they have to know that we know.
Exactly. Let them know that we know that they know that we know.
Exactly right. So when I see that, those are all the things that come to mind immediately when I see it.
Good stuff. That was damn. Hey Willie, let me tell you something. Hey Willie,
you've been on point.
You came in a little down today, but man, you ended on fire.
Apply street moves to the office.
I can't with this brother.
Apply street moves to the office. I can't.
Kelly, get him, Kelly.
Nah, he's been on point tonight. Like he's had so many on fire points, and I agree. Like I love seeing, the mashup of cultures. But
this is your resume reel right here, A Willie. This is
it. Like, yes, we need to distribute this. Like, but I mean, sneaker culture is us. Like it's ours. Like, it's been something that has been, in rap videos and just like everything is us. Like I collect sneakers. Like if I could show you guys my closet, it is insane. I'm a 13 Jordan girl, just in case anybody's wondering. In case they want to send 13s is my favorite. But
13s? Okay.
Oh yeah.
1s, 3s, 5, 6, 7.
Kelly, do you
9,
rock
I like them all.
Rock them, and how long do you rock them?
Oh, I tip in them. Like I'm not like I walk flat foot. Like hey, whoa. Hey, look, like so my rock has.
Don't do
yes,
that.
no, you gotta walk flat foot and like you gotta like mob with it. We're not out here walking
I was
fast.
bent over the other day trying to get something. I was cleaning my rims and I had my J's on and I was like, oh, what am I doing?
What?
I was like, oh,
put a crease in them.
You chose the rims over the Jordans.
I seen your ride, Big Money. So TV money is all right.
It ain't that NFL Brinkley money.
First, let me check you. I have my own money. Let me check you. Let me help you with that. I have my own money. I still have my own money. Let me check you. He didn't save nobody. I might have saved him. Let's.
You don't want to be saved. Don't save. You don't want to be saved.
I want to be saved. Yes. So just so that's out there. Like he didn't save nobody. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Can you say ho?
Oh.
Can you say?
Wait, hold on.
Not me. I know that. But can you say?
I want to be saved. Go to church. Oh yeah.
But I don't think you can say that. I think you have to reserve all the hoes for me.
That's
like I can say
those.
I can.
You gotta get with it. Go to church. You know what I was saying, Coach? Oh, go to church. Oh. You know what I'm saying?
Whatever.
But I'm sorry, 3-6 Mafia. That gets me going. That sort of.
You're so hood. I love it.
Yeah. There's a term for me and you, Kelly. It's called clatch.
Clatch it.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Hey,
I'm gonna have to use that.
It's called what now?
Clatch it. Classy ratchet.
Classy ratchet. Clatch it. Yep.
I learned something new today.
Yeah.
You want to be in the Clatch It crew? You can.
You can join. We've got our own text group and everything. You want to get in it?
I'm good.
Ooh, judgment. Ooh.
No. Hey, in the show, man.
Go ahead, D-Dubs. You got a quick thought?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Go ahead, D.
I'm good.
League of Legends, man. I want to get your thoughts on the culture, man. Come on, man.
Oh, it seems cool. The colors. I saw some Jordans. You know.
He ain't got nothing to say.
Sweating.
He ain't got nothing.
I'm sweating with the air on. Like, how
It's cool. Whatever rocks the boat.
Derwin's got nothing. He's speechless tonight. Good stuff, guys. I had a lot of fun. We went very heavy tonight. But that's what happens when you got five great personalities on here having some fun and a family-like atmosphere. I appreciate all of you guys. Coach K back there pushing all the right buttons. We got D-Dubs. D-Dubs, yeah.
I thought he was asleep.
Coach K, say hi. Say hi to No, he was a couple times. Coach K, say hi to America. Everybody wants to hear your voice.
Hello, America.
Let them know you want to know fantasy.
It's my league, Derwin.
Bugging. You better check my resume.
Have my money ready.
I just want to watch from the bubble. That's
all. Did we hear from Coach K? You good, Coach K? We're good?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Okay. All right. We got D-Dubs down there, not too far away from him, about 12, 15 miles away over in Brooklyn. We got Kelly Wells Brinkley down in Houston and A. Willie down there in North Texas. Ivan Curtis back in the OHIO, Ohio. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Throw it up for the A. Shout out to Snook and Diddy, Snookabuku, Diddy, Renee Montgomery, Serena Grace, and the doll baby, the baby doll, KC Beauty. What's up? Throw them up. Hey,
OG.
Just hold it up. Just hold it up, man.
Don't worry, man. I laughed for both of us yesterday.
got him good yesterday.
Yes, sir. Good stuff. Thanks for watching esportsXTRA, the only live call-in sports show talking traditional sports, esports, and gaming. We'll see you tomorrow, Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here from the Tri-State area. So long and good night. We'll see you tomorrow.